Dear friends, how are you doing today? Patrick here. I wanted to start to do a review on this book that someone was so kind enough to lend to me. It's called Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance. Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance. I was kind of hopeful because, this is a new popular book. Well, not that new, but it's, obviously J.D. Vance is the new um, VP, Vice President in the United States. And this was published in 2016, so 9 years ago. And I have to say, so far I'm very disappointed, and maybe that's because of my own working class background, as they say, that I've had a difficult upbringing, and this is what he's describing his life. So I'm on chapter how have I reached so far? I'm on chapter 4. So I've read the first 3 chapters in the intro. It's about 245 pages. So I've got about 200 pages to go. It's very painful to read. It's interesting to note that it starts off with a lot of these bestseller type books. I don't know if you can see that, with all these reviews, reviewed by the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and all these, the New Yorker. It's got all these amazing reviews, and almost all of them mention the phrase white working class. You'll see it repeated over and over again: the white working class, the white working class, the white working class. And as I've mentioned before, the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, that the technique that's used to hypnotize the reader is definitely in full force in this book. And I doubt very much that J.D. Vance wrote this, but whoever ghost wrote it for him, didn't shy away from using that term over and over and over again. Working class whites, and how difficult it is for white working class, and constantly here in pages 4 and 5, I even just underlined once, twice, 3 times mentioned in the span of 2 pages. It reached a point in the first chapter, or in the introduction, I should say, where I'm going to read this little section to you, and you almost start to speak in a twang. It's written from the perspective of some hillbilly sitting on a porch, and it wants to transport the reader into that Kentucky Appalachian Mountain atmosphere of, and then my papa said this and my papa said that. So here we go. Look at this section from page 7. The problems that I saw at the tile warehouse run far deeper than macroeconomic trends and policies. Too many young men immune to hard work. That's the sentence. Too many young men immune to hard work. Good jobs impossible to fill for any length of time, and a young man with every reason to work, a wife to be to support, and a baby on the way, carelessly tossing aside a good job with excellent health insurance. More troubling, when it was all over, he thought something had been done to him. There is a lack of agency here, a feeling that you have little control over your life, and a willingness to blame everyone but yourself. This is distinct from the larger economic landscape of modern America. It's worth noting that although a focus on a group of people I know, working class whites with ties to Appalachia, I'm not arguing that we deserve more sympathy than other folks. This is not a story about why white people have more to complain about than black people or any other group. That said, blah, 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 blah. That's how I started to read it, by going through these first few pages. By the time I reached page 7, I was starting to get that southern twang, because the way it's written is constantly referencing that style of thinking and speaking. So it just gets right into the flavor of hillbilly white working class middle America, right? It just repeats that over and over again. And then whatever anecdotal stories are included, they're stories of anger and, hillbilly behavior, and just extremely depressing, very, very depressing. So far, there's absolutely no inspiration from the first 3 chapters. I'm on page 47, I'm on chapter 4. So, Hillbilly Elegy, the word elegy is another word for eulogy. I don't know why they don't use the word eulogy. Eulogy is you're giving you're honoring somebody who died, so you're giving a speech on their behalf. You're eulogizing them. You're saying, oh, he was a great man, he did this. The elegy is similar, except it's usually just from a more pessimistic viewpoint. It's more sad, maybe, and it's more depressing, and it's more like a written rather than a verbal speech. It's more like a written poem or something. Elegy is what the word means. Hillbilly Elegy. So it's a requiem for the dead people of Appalachian, Kentucky, Middle America, coal miners, and a memoir of a family and culture in crisis. And so this is the purpose of the book, is to show how difficult it is for white working class Americans. And it's pretty, so far, quite repulsive to see that phrase repeated unnecessarily that many times in such a short period of time. Okay, we get it. Yes, okay, you don't have to browbeat the reader over the head like 100 times. So that's a little bit discouraging. But we'll see. I'm going to try and get through it. At this point, I cannot recommend it at all. I'm amazed it's a #1 New York Times bestseller, because whoever would read this would just be, might as well go wallow in the mud for a few hours of your life. That's just sad and depressing so far. So we'll see. I'm going to try and get through it because of the author is such a famous person. And we'll try and salvage something out of it that teaches me something that I don't already know, which hasn't happened yet. So thank you so much for watching. God bless you. That's my part 1 review of Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance, and I'll try and finish that in maybe 1 or 2 more videos. We'll see how it goes, if I can even get through the rest of the book. God bless you. Hope you're able to spend time with people you love. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you again real soon. Bye for now. There's the train. The train is calling me. One more. There it is. Is the train calling you too? Time to catch the train, baby.